It's Kimberly. Good morning from Share the Joy. And as you can see, I am not home. I am in a hotel room here in Utah. And yesterday I was at the Young Living Farms, and so in Mona, Utah. And I wasn't able to come in and do Share the Joy, but I wanted to quickly come in before my business session this morning and talk to you about part 2 of high blood pressure and what to do. So we're going to talk, hey, Uncle Victor, so good to see you. So we're going to talk a little bit about some things. High fiber, unprocessed foods are important, and some things you want to think about are vegetables and fruits and seeds. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more detail about that later. Low sodium foods, we want to make sure that no more than 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams a day of sodium. All right, so staying within those ranges are helpful. Eating things that are high in potassium. We talked a little bit about that last week, but that's bananas and avocados, things like that. Omega-3s, so grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon, chia seeds, flax seeds, things like that, okay? Now, here are some specific foods that can help with blood pressure, all right? So we want to look at dark chocolate, yum, for those people who enjoy dark chocolate, garlic, and garlic basically helps thin the blood to prevent blockage and reduce the blood pressure. So garlic is good for that. And then I didn't tell you, dark chocolate has cocoa phenols, so those are really, really helpful in lowering blood pressure. Spinach is rich in magnesium and folate. And remember, we talked about magnesium being a supplement last week that we would want to take, and I showed you or talked to you about the one that I use. Sunflower seeds can help to reduce cholesterol levels and open blood vessels. So remember when we were talking about high fiber foods and I said get those seeds in there? That's one of the things you're going to want to do. Bananas, remember, for potassium and fiber's high, so making sure we're getting high fiber foods in our diet. Tomatoes, so the compounds in tomatoes help to lower cholesterol, like lycopene, and that is activated when you heat up tomatoes. So eating things like stewed tomatoes or tomatoes in chili or things like that, healthy chili, of course, not with all the cheese and the extra things that make it have high cholesterol properties. So that's what you have there. The other thing we want to think about doing, broccoli is high in potassium and chromium, and it helps to reduce the blood sugar levels and helps you to help with insulin and weight, okay? The next one is melon, and melon is rich in potassium. So we've got some foods. I've given very specific foods. Those are things that you guys can buy at the store, get what you need, do what you need to do. Hey guys, I appreciate you jumping in. For those who did not see last week's video, check that out. Part 1 about high blood pressure, what high blood pressure is, what it means. And I talked about some of the natural supplements and things that you can take. Today I'm talking more specifically about foods you can eat. So if you're just jumping on, wait till this ends. We'll be in a few minutes, and then you can catch the food list. I'm going to jump in right now to lifestyle things. So we're going to want to reduce stress. And people say, Kim, how do you do that? Sometimes you really just have to take things off your plate. I know we think that we have to do everything that we've signed up for. And sometimes it's good to just say, you know what, it's time for me to step back from a few things. Getting better sleep. So turning off the TV at night, getting in bed, shutting down, creating a schedule. I talked a couple of weeks ago about mind mapping and really planning your time, and I'm going to do in October a free webinar about that, and so be on the lookout for that. Like I said, you're scheduling more free time, which we're going to talk about how to do that and how to put that into your schedule. Having fun with friends actually lowers blood pressure. When you look at and study places in the blue zone, those are parts of the world where people live a really long time. Friendship and eating meals together and doing things is really important. So scheduling time with friends, and of course, exercising, okay? So getting out, walking, running. But if you have high blood pressure and you do really high stress exercises that put a lot of stress on the body, that can be unproductive. So wanting to do calming exercises, things that will allow your body to flow and the blood to flow, but not to be overly taxing on the body. And here are some essential oils, and you guys know I'm an essential oil lady, and it's apropos that I am here in Utah for the Young Living Silver Retreat. And so these are the oils that you can use. You can use lavender, lang lang, you can use clary sage, and frankincense. All 4 of those will help to lower blood pressure. So I hope this helped you. I've got to head downstairs by 8 o'clock the time here in Utah and get to this conference. So I really appreciate you guys jumping in and seeing Share the Joy. I'm sorry I didn't make it yesterday, but you know I love you guys, and there was a good reason for me not being here. But I hope these things help you. Please, please, please share the joy. You don't know who's suffering with high blood pressure, and maybe some of these quick changes to diet, adding some things in, taking a few things out could be really helpful. So there's part 1 and this is part 2. So check them both out. Peace and blessings. Remember to do all things with joy, and I will see you again next week.